Hi YouTube, Gamer Ninja here, and as you all probably know, I won't be doing much gameplay video stuff as of right now, but I could still do my rants. And so that's probably going to be what this channel is going to be focusing on for about the next month and a half or so. So, if you haven't noticed, in this video and the previous video, I'm in a new setting. This is temporary. My room is not recordable, really. It's a mess. But, yeah. As you all probably have guessed, I'm an avid fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! But that being said, I'm not blind to its flaws. And I sort of thought about this, and I really started thinking, what makes Yu-Gi-Oh! Not as fun as other games, or potentially not as fun as other games, I should say. I find it still a blast to play. And every argument that I've seen against Yu-Gi-Oh! Like one of my friends says that he doesn't like how every time when he finds a deck he likes, it gets nerfed into the ground. He played E-Dragons at one point. I'm sorry, that was a different friend. Another friend of mine complained that E-Dragons got hit, which I really thought he was kind of foolish to think that that wouldn't get hit, considering they were dumb OP. But that's an issue with every type of game. Formats rotate out in the terms of Magic the Gathering. Pokemon just flat says you don't play with those cards professionally every 3 months or so. Hearthstone, it's in its own category, really. They actually literally will change the card. Get rest in peace Miracle Rogue, for instance. But that argument isn't really what I think is the biggest issue with Yu-Gi-Oh! And I think one of the biggest issues with Yu-Gi-Oh! Is interaction with the opponent. Now, let me explain. I am a huge fan of interaction with the opponent. That's what makes these types of games fun. It makes it a lot of fun, interesting, strategy-based games, lots of mind games, that type of stuff. And all these other games have a huge amount of mind games. Whereas with Yu-Gi-Oh! There's not so much mind games, as in I have cards put in my deck that are designed to beat your deck. Speaking as an anti-meta player, that's kind of how I roll in Yu-Gi-Oh! But one thing about anti-meta decks is that they have a fairly sizable amount of interaction with the opponent. Yes, we run a lot of floodgate cards, but that being said, if you don't run 3 MSTs right now, I'm sorry, I personally feel that you deserve to get locked out of playing the game, because you probably won't get very far anyway if you're not running any degree of back row hate. If you don't understand how the game is actually played, then anti-meta will just destroy you anyway. But in reality, anti-meta, due to us running 10,000 billion different traps, really offers more interaction with the opponent than, say, Light Sworns. Like, I don't care about your board. I'm probably just going to drop Judgment Dragon 9 out of 10 times when I can, and then nuke your board repeatedly until it dies. What type of interaction is that? I literally just play my trump card, and I nuke the board. Not saying that there's anything wrong with Light Sworn players, although some of you need to understand that your deck isn't the hardest thing. But whatever, I've played Light Sworns. I think they're fun in their own way. I don't play that way. Whatever, everyone's there. That's why we have multiple different types of decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Whatever. But decks like anti-meta or any type of slower paced deck offers way more interaction with the opponent than, say, Necros, which their interaction is limited to, do you have a Dark Bribe or Bottomless or a Summon Negator of some sort? If no, you're probably going to get curb stomped in this one turn. Or lose so much board pressure or field pressure or hand pressure or any type of advantage that you ever had, just because I dropped Trishula. Because we really needed Ritual form of Trishula. Because, yeah, thanks Konami, yeah, thanks for making the deck stupid expensive, and you're probably gonna hit it again. Have they hit it? I don't think they have. I'll have to relook at the ban list. I'm really tired. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Sorry. But, that got me thinking about another thing. All other types of these card games have some type of resource system beyond your life total. Magic the Gathering has mana, yugioh and / Duel Masters even all had their own form of mana / land / whatever. Pokemon uses energy, and the only one that really doesn't do anything like that is Yu-Gi-Oh! And this means that I can drop my biggest, baddest monsters as early as I want. Whereas in a game like Hearthstone, I can't drop, unless I'm playing Ramp Druid, my big bad monster until like turn 6 or turn 7. This means that the earlier game, I have a lot of decisions that I need to make. Do I trade out with my opponent? Do I just ram into their face? And this means that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just innately designed for an aggro beatdown style game, or a deck that's designed to beat beat aggro rush type decks. And while those are typed really fun, I'm a quick draw fanatic, for instance. I love playing quick draws. It really does limit a lot of interaction with opponents, just because why would I want to not use these 4,000 point beaters that I can drop that can attack twice and negate spells? Quasar. Or why wouldn't I want to just spam special summons and just get massive amounts of advantage on the first turn? And again, it's still a fun game. I enjoy it. But it's really hard to say that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a skill-based game when, honestly, it's more of I have a combo and you don't. Or I've locked you out of a combo and you don't have a way to get rid of my lockout. At least in other games, yeah, I might have an OTK combo, but I'm probably not going to be able to do it until turn 9 or turn 10. And while that may not sound like a lot of time, that's a lot of time to be messing around with your opponent. And it makes it so that it's not, I play these cards in this order at turn 1, and I've got a Quasar and a Shooting Star Dragon, turn 1, ready to destroy you on the next turn, and you basically do not have any counterplay to it, just because I can just do whatever I want, so long as I obey the summoning conditions. This was even worse before, when going first also let you draw a card, therefore you got ahead in the deck. Not only did you not get ahead in your deck, you also were able to play without any consequences on turn 1. But they fortunately have sort of gone this much better route, in my opinion. And while I will always enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh! It's the first game I sort of really kind of got it into other than Pokemon. And I'm just going to just continue playing it, obviously. But I kind of wish that they had gone about it a bit differently. I mean, life points are life points, but every other game has a point system, too, to calculate your health. Well, except for Pokemon, but they have prizes. That's a little bit different. But Pokemon is a major competitor, and even when I'm just playing Pokemon, even against the most rampy style type of decks, I at least feel like, oh, I at least had some time to at least show off a little bit of my deck. There have been games where in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where I have literally destroyed my opponent turn 2 when all I got to see was them set a couple of face downs, and I never got to see what they were. And while that's great for me, because I just got an easy win and they couldn't do anything, it can't be that fun to just sort of just see this massive board on the opponent's side of the field and just sort of go, I have nothing to do, and be just because I couldn't do anything. It's Yu-Gi-Oh's a race, basically. Whoever gets their draw power, whoever gets their big bad monster or combo play out first, wins, and there's no limitation on how early you can play that. And that's a bit of an issue. And now this brings me to my second point. Konami, why the fuck is Denko Senka a card? I mean, you keep on trying to make it so that every deck, relatively speaking, has at least a prayer, right? So why would you create a card that literally removes interaction? It literally just says you are not doing anything unless you kill this thing almost immediately. Light Sworns, if you are not running Denko Senka, you probably should consider it. It is literally a dumb card that prevents your opponent from having really any interaction with you. And I'm fine with powerful cards. I understand there's a power creep, and I'm fine with that. But I don't like cards that literally kill interaction and just don't have any summoning requirements. I mean, the next card that really kills interaction that I can think of off the top of my head are Shooting Quasar Dragon, which, while not impossible to pull off, you basically need a deck built around it to summon it. And Skill Drain, kinda, but everyone's running 3 MSTs, and with all the draw power right now, you're probably gonna get it. And, well, maybe not. That is one thing. That's another topic. But you're running 3 MSTs, and God knows how many other types of removal, thanks to all the pendulum summonings and all that stuff. You actually need to run more spell removal, so that's not even as big of an issue. Necro Valley, same thing. It's a spell attack card. You're probably going to be able to blow one up and still get a chance to interact. But if I literally just drop turn 1 Denko Senka, okay. I can't use trap cards while you don't have a back row and all that stuff. And it's a light type, so why not just use Honest on it? Because, you know, that's exactly what I need to see when I'm about to push for game and kill your Denko Senka finally. And then you just drop Honest against my Atos, and I just cry myself to sleep. And then you drop Judgment Dragon because you milled it, and then use Monster Reincarnation, and yeah, you get the point. Denko Senka, I think, is a very bad card for the game, and it just exemplifies the issue with Yu-Gi-Oh! There's cards that do limit interaction, but there's very rarely cards that just flat out kill interaction. And when there are, they should just be basically removed, quite honestly. That's why Chaos Emperor Dragon was basically destroyed. It was a huge card, and it basically said, oh, I'm nuking the board. You don't have a singular say in it. I'm nuking the entire board, and you're losing a crap ton of life for it. That's not that fair, really. And yes, we all want to play these flashy cards, but isn't this still just a game? I don't know, maybe I'm just crazy, but I think I play this game more for fun than to actually, like, win money. I don't think I'm good enough to do that. But that earlier, like in 2011, 2010, right around when synchros were introduced, we were starting to see some really cool ideas with synchro plants and all that fun stuff. Heroes were strong. We were starting to see some pretty cool stuff being played. Yes, they were strong, but at least there was interaction with each other. Yes, there were still OTK decks. Yes, there was still that one asshole that played Deep Draw Exodia. Yes, there were OTK decks, and yes, there were games that were utter shutouts. That happens. Even in games like Hearthstone and Magic the Gathering, I can just get a tempo edge and I will destroy you because I have a board and you don't because you just got unlucky with the draws. That happens. Okay. But lately decks aren't really focusing on interaction. They're focusing more on combo and more you just flat out killing your opponent. Just they don't even have a say, really. They just die. And that's fine, in a way. But I would like to see some more cards that are designed more for interaction with the opponent. It's sort of hard for me to put into words, but it just sort of feels like I could be playing against a computer rather than another person. And that's basically how I feel, and I'm sort of disappointed in that a little bit. That's why I've been playing more Hearthstone, because at least I get to play around with the opponent a bit. I get to have some fun doing some trades outs and figuring out when exactly should I try to go for lethal versus I'm going to go for lethal whenever at this turn, always. Like, I actually need to figure out when I'm going to just ram stuff into his face or stuff like that. And it's because of this aggro rush style of Yu-Gi-Oh! That I'm really glad that we don't have a mulligan feature. If Yu-Gi-Oh had mulliganing, I would never play it, quite honestly. That would just be retarded. And we'd probably see a huge amount of Exodia players, and no one really likes Exodia players. Don't be that guy and play Exodia. Or Chainburn. Actually, Chainburn I don't mind as much as Exodia. Exodia, go fuck yourselves. Because I did not sit here and in this tournament pay $5 to $10 entry fee just to sit there and watch you play solitaire. Go fuck yourselves. But yeah, so Yu-Gi-Oh needs to get some more cards that are designed for interaction with between the two players. And I don't know if that means that they need to rehaul some of the rules, and I don't know how to do it, but I just sort of feel like it doesn't matter who I'm playing against. I'm playing nearly the same way every time. Yes, I can sideboard. Yes, that is a part of the aspect of Yu-Gi-Oh, part of the strategy aspect of Yu-Gi-Oh. Yes, that's a big thing of it. But really, you're not changing the core mechanics of your deck to a different degree, or really changing your playstyle that much. I mean, that's just how I feel on it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. This is the Gamer Ninja, and I really hope Yu-Gi-Oh fixes itself. And I'm out of here.